2026 marks 10 years of Dem Bois Inc. That's 10 years of community care, 10 years of leadership rooted in love, and 10 years of turning visibility into possibility. And so to honor this milestone, we've launched our 10 for 10 campaign. You're like, Sean, 10 for 10, what's that? So we are inviting you, our listeners, our supporters, our allies, and other folks in the community to give $10 a month to help sustain the care, leadership, and visibility that trans men of color deserve. And so 10 years is a very long time, right? That's a decade. Can you imagine raising a child from birth and then looking at them at their 10th birthday party and being like, wow, you've watched so much of their growth within that 10 years, right? That's the same for us. And so Dem Bois Inc., over the 10 years, we have done a lot. And so we have provided gender affirming surgery grants to trans men of color to obtain gender affirming surgeries. We started this podcast. We are now in season 4 of the podcast in 2026. We created our Visibility Equals Possibility merch. We partnered with Emilio and Zion, both trans men of color, to design what visibility equals possibility means to them. And it's reflected in our merch. We also partnered with the Black trans man, Mola Flow, to create our theme song. And that's the music that you hear every time you tune into Dem Bois Podcast. We've done merch. We've done partnering. We have delivered care packages to trans men of color in need of personal hygiene items within our community. We have done a lot in 10 years. And so imagine what the next 10 years will look like. Donating $10 a month says, I believe in this work. I believe in the future of trans men of color, and I believe in what comes next. And so if this call resonates with you, join us today. And we've even made it easy. You don't even got to go anywhere. Whatever platform you're listening to this episode, go ahead and open up the show notes. And from there, you will be able to click the link to start your contribution to our 10 for 10 campaign. Your monthly support helps ensure Dem Bois can continue showing up for our community with intention, care, and impact. So thank you for listening and thank you for believing in our mission. Okay, and I'm going to get out of here so you can listen to this episode.
I'm so glad that there are resources out there for you and me. We're human beings existing in our true identities. Let us breathe.
My next guest I had the privilege to sit down with is a brown, Latino, trans masc, multidisciplinary artist, public figure, nightlife personality, event producer, sex worker, and community organizer and leader. He's been living in Los Angeles for almost 10 years and has been organizing and advocating for the queer, trans, and houseless community since 2018. And so within this episode, we talked about mental health, family upbringing, and sex positivity. This is a really great episode.
Dem Bois, Dem Bois, amplifying trans men of color voices. Yeah, we here making noise, making noise, Visibility equals possibility. You know we them boys, Dem Bois, amplifying trans men of color voices. Yeah, we here making noise, making noise.
Welcome to Dem Bois Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Aaron, he, him, his. My next guest is a multidisciplinary artist, a public figure, nightlife personality, event producer, sex worker, and community organizer and leader. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My name is Gabe Tha Babe, he, him, his. Well.
Yes, Gabe Tha Babe, he, him, his. And so, Gabe, where are you located?
I'm in LA.
You're in LA. Nice. So we're not that far from each other. I'm up north. I'm in the Bay Area, towards close to Oakland, but I'm like near Berkeley. So I'm in the El Cerrito area. So we not that far away from each other. So how long have you been in LA?
In April, it'll be 10 years.
Okay, nice. What brought you to LA?
Well, I'm from Texas, and I moved to San Diego when I was 21. My dad was living there. And I started dating somebody that was living out here in LA. I ended up moving up here with her. And then, after we broke up, I just ended up staying here. And that was,
Pretty
almost 10 years ago.
So you built a community there, life there. So you just was like, I'm just going to stay.
Yeah.
Do you like LA?
Yeah. Yeah, I love LA.
Okay.
I love LA. Like, I do love LA. this is where I've like formed my adult years. And I've built so much community, and have been able to do so many like really badass things that I never would have had the opportunity to do like where I'm from,
Mm-hmm.
And I have moments where I'm like, yeah, I think I want to leave LA, or like, I'm over this city, but then I really think about it and I'm like, no, I love LA.
Okay. I'm asking that because I don't like LA. I have family there. I have been there multiple times throughout my life. I visited, I dated someone long distance that lived in LA. I try to kind of get into the LA vibes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the damn traffic. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. And I haven't come to I have never been there and say, you know what? I had a good goddamn time. I don't know.
Damn, not once. Not once.
No, I don't know what it is about LA. No.
Damn. I guess it's not for everybody,
Yeah, nothing towards LA for
Um,
you. If you love it, man, stay there
yeah.
until you don't love it, right? But I just haven't found like the nightlife, or maybe I haven't found maybe I just not looking in the right places to have a good time. Maybe that's just what it is.
I hope at least one time you could have a good time.
I know I want to. I want to.
I'm gonna manifest it for you.
Yes, I want to. Yes, please. I would love that. I would love that. It's just something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's just the ties also because my birth father lives there, and so that kind of bad taste in my mouth from knowing that he's somewhere in that city, and every time I come there I have no idea where he is or anything like that. So maybe it's that bad taste in my mouth of that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just that, right?
Real.
And I need to work through that and get over that, and then maybe once I free myself from that burden, I'll have a great time. And so it's probably just that, right? And so I love to ask all of my guests this. And so your name, Gabe Tha Babe, how did that name choose you?
Well, my name at birth was Gabriella. So I always I went by like Gabby when I was a kid. And then in high school, my friends started calling me Gabe. And I was cute. So they started calling me Gabe Tha Babe. Yeah, it's just been like that. We also had a coach who his name was Gabriel, and like his nickname in high school, we went to the same high school. Like my town is really small. So he became a teacher at our high school, and his name was Gabe, and they called him Gabe Tha Babe in high school too. So it was just kind of like a continuation of him, but yeah, and it's always just stuck with me.
I love that. That even that confidence. You like, I was a kid and I still was cute. Like I love that. It was no disassociation of like, I wasn't happy in my body or nothing like that. You was just like, shit, I was cute. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it, right? And so even in your younger years of being cute and figuring yourself out, what was your gender journey? What did that look like for you?
When I was like 5 or 6, me and my mom were at Walmart school shopping, and I had like a fit, and I was like, I'm not going to the girl section. And my mom was like, okay. And then I just started, that's when I started like, like dressing like a boy. I always had long curly hair, and I would, wear it down and stuff. And I was always getting asked if I was a boy or a girl. At one point, my sister was dating this guy named Roy, and I told all my family to call me Roy because he was like, like a male figure in my life. And so like I came out as like, bisexual in like, I don't know, fucking like 6th grade or something. And then it like, I cut my hair when I was 14. But like they were calling me Gabe. Not my family, but like my friends and stuff. And then I came out as trans at like, I think like 18. So it was never like a shock to my family coming out as trans, because like since I was really young, I was like just presenting as a boy, Yeah. And then I started I started hormones at 22, a little after I moved to LA. And yeah, now I'm 31.
Nice. So you have, that's kind of an extensive journey, right? So you're going from 5 on to 22. And so in between those times, so from the time when you were 5, you say, yo, mom, I'm not going to be shopping in the girls section. How did your mom receive that? Of just saying, yeah, no questions asked. She just said, okay, let's go over here.
Yeah, my mom has always been really cool. And like, it's interesting because I grew up very Catholic. Um, church every Sunday, Bible class every Sunday or Wednesday, and my grandma used to work at the church, like making food for the priests and stuff. My mom is a Bible class teacher now, and my mom is also older, so she had me when she was almost 40. So like her being so chill about it is like doesn't really happen, and we're Mexican. So it was like I'm really lucky,
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just it was really great to have a parent that was really accepting. And my dad's brother is also gay. So my dad was always like really cool too.
That's a privilege, really, right? To go into this
Yeah.
journey and have no opposition, but especially at a young age, right? Of your mother saying, "No, I don't give a shit what you saying. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna buy these clothes that I want to spend my money on," right? And so, do you feel like there was a deeper freedom that you was able to exhibit or like to explore because you didn't have any of that opposition within your family?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it really allowed me to have a different experience than a lot of trans guys have. Um, I it kind of not trip out, but like I just don't relate to it, when there's a lot of guys that either had to present feminine or like they were just like they didn't know that they were trans at a certain age, um and then they fully transition like older, um and have to like sort of learn certain things about like masculinity. And I was just always kind of given the freedom to like do a lot of the things that people have to learn,
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. So, from whatever platform that you're listening to this week's episode on, please be sure to give us 5 stars. And if there's something within this episode, whether it's the guest or something that I said, or maybe the guest said that resonated with you, be sure to go and leave us a comment on this episode or leave us a comment on the show. So what happens is, if you feel like it resonated with you, I'm sure there's someone out there who hasn't even heard about Dem Bois Podcast. It may resonate with them, and actually it could save someone's life. To hear these stories, right? Because we believe that visibility equals possibility, but there isn't any possibility if we aren't visible. So if you go and leave comments, the more comments you leave, the more 5-star ratings you leave, then this podcast will be available to more folks to see. And so we want to be visible. We want to be out there. We want folks to know that we're here and that our stories are out there for them to listen to. And so if you could do me a favor, please go ahead and rate the show or leave a comment. Until next time, see you on the next episode. So did your mom or like your family have to kind of like defend you at times?
Yeah.
How did that, what did that look, what did that look like?
My mom has always been my like biggest fucking rider. And like I just remember a couple times like I would be in the girls' bathroom with my mom. And I was what like one specific time we were walking out of the bathroom, And as I walked out, this lady walked in, and she was like, "What are you doing in here?" And my mom was like, "'Cause she's a girl," like yelled at this woman. And like, you know, I wasn't out as trans at the time, but like she was, she was just like doing what she could to protect me, and I really appreciate that. And even in school, like, I don't think like there was like, I was not the best kid, I was always getting in trouble in school and shit. But I think because I was so authentically myself, there was like some teachers that didn't like that, and kind of like picked on me or, did certain things. And my mom was always like up in the school, like yelling at the teachers or like, just like defending me and just going hard for me.
I love that. I love that. Do you know what age you were when your mom had to defend you in the restroom?
I was probably like 16 because I remember I had short hair at the time already. And yeah, I was probably like 16.
First of all, I want to say that people need to mind their own goddamn business. You just go in the restroom and do what the hell you going in there to do. You either going there to pee, shit, fix your teeth, fix your clothes, whatever you going to do has nothing to do with what I'm doing in the damn bathroom. So mind your business. That's the first thing to people. But was there a... I don't want to, you sometimes, since you were younger, your mom always defended you anyway. Your mom had your back. But was there a certain type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like reference that you had towards your mom in that moment of her kind of like coming to the rescue, Mama Bear coming to the rescue for you and you not even having to say anything? Like, was there any, how you may look up at your mom like, damn, I appreciate you. Or like, was there any type of admiration that you had for your mom in that moment?
No, absolutely. Like, I've always just appreciated my mom, like all the times that she's like been there for me and just like has always done what she can, she's a single mom or like was a single mom for most of my life. Always worked a bunch of jobs, and was also like, the person that everybody in my family came to for their bullshit. So like, I've always just admired my mom. She's like the strongest woman I know. And I've always known that I could like depend on her for anything.
When was the last time you told her that?
Damn, it's been a minute. But and we talk all the time though and stuff, but I should let her know.
Yeah, you should. I challenge you to let her know. Just you sharing your story and journey with the world, right? And so sometimes, as a parent, even being a parent myself, my son is 28, and so sometimes we as parents we want to hear that shit. Like, I sacrifice for you, motherfucker. Tell me not. No, but seriously, right? Like, I feel like, you should share that with your mom. Exactly how you feel and like exactly that, how she made you feel growing up and just how she's ever been there for you. So I challenge you to kind of like share that with her. If you haven't said it in a long time, now might be the time. Hey mom, let me, after this, right? And so did your mother, as being supportive as she was to you and as you grew up and you started to build community, did she become like that mother for other folks in your in community?
Yeah. My mom was always like, I just mean like cool. She's just always been cool and has always like known what she has. In the sense of like, I like to party. I like to go out when I was a teenager. Like that's all of my friends were doing that, And I'm from a really small town. Like she knew all my friends and stuff. So my mom was also like the one that was like, I know y'all are going to go to the party, but I'll drop you off and I'll pick you up. And I'll make sure that all of y'all get home safe. Don't go with somebody that's drunk or like, because also it being such a small town, the cops already knew that we were having parties and shit. So they were like waiting, So my mom was like that mom. Whereas like I had friends where their mom thought that they were like these good kids or something, and were like blaming it on me. But like we're all fucking doing the same thing, and my mom's more just like, I know y'all are gonna do the thing. Let's make sure you can do it like as safely as possible.
Mm. I didn't have that growing up. My mom was very, I mean, you say you grew up in a religious household too, but my mom was religious, strictly by the book, chapter, this Bible book says this, chapter 23, verse 16 says this, and this is it. This is all we doing, right? I spent 6 days a week in church. Wasn't allowed to go out with my friends. Only people that I could go out was like folks in church. And so that really was heavy on my mental health. I had no freedom. I couldn't explore who I was. I couldn't express who I was. When I tried to express it, she told me if I ever said it again, I was going to get a whooping. Right. And so I was never able to like express, even though I was masculine all the, ever since I can remember. Right. I've never only had to wear dresses when I went to church, but I dressed pretty masculine at school. And so that took a toll on my mental health. And so coming from a house where you were supported and you were allowed to explore this version of masculinity that was you, how did that affect you or have on a benefit or maybe not on your mental health?
I think that like, being able to do that was great for me gender wise. Yeah, great to like my transition, I think. But growing up where I'm from and not having like very positive representations of masculinity, I think like I really hung on to this like machismo. I had a lot of internalized like homophobia, internalized transphobia too. Yeah, it wasn't until like I moved to California and was able to like explore without any like with less societal pressure around me, that I was able to really like figure myself out like gender wise, and expression wise, and realize that I don't even identify as a man, and when have the freedom or have the confidence to wear like whatever I wanted or be more sexually positive, be open about that I'm a bottom or I do bottom, things like that,
Yeah. What led you to kind of like break free from that? Was it just moving? Was that what helped?
Nah, I think it was honestly, it was I dated somebody that was non-binary or is non-binary. And I saw how they played with gender and also like, seeing people, just seeing people like I have a friend named Lizard, and I've like told him this before, like seeing people like them, of also the transmasc experience, see how they can also be feminine in their own way, like really opened up my mind to not just be in this bubble of fucking machismo.
And you say that you became more sex positive, and so I want to talk about that a little bit, because when you say, let's start with this. When you say sex positive, what do you mean by that? What is your definition of that?
I think being able to release the shame that society has on us when it comes to sex, whether it be like you only do it when you're married, or you should only do it with this amount of people, or you should fucking not have sex for money, or dress a certain way, or like not be sexual like online, or things like that.
And how were you able to kind of like empower yourself in that way and become more sex positive?
Well, I mean, I've been doing sex work since I was like 17 or 18. And I came out here and I still do that. But I think, I think a lot of it had to do with transitioning medically and um feeling more comfortable in my body, and also, getting comfortable with the fact that I do like guys, and women as well, and owning that, like, I do enjoy bottoming and topping. Like, I think just allowing myself to be really free in the things that I like, and the way that I present to the world, while also, just becoming a lot more confident within myself. I was like, yeah, I'm sexy. People think I'm sexy, so let me be out and be sexy in the world,
I love that, and that confidence, because you said when you was younger you was cute. So I mean, you already had that confidence, right, in who you were, and that ability to, I don't want to say gather, but like to get people because based on your looks, right? And so that's also they say pretty privilege, right? But that's also
pretty privilege.
Yeah, that is a privilege, right? And one of the reasons why I asked you about moving into sex positivity is only because I have experienced that myself, and so it's the stigma, right? Being socialized as a female at birth, of what, just like you said, right? Your body is just supposed to be for somebody else's pleasure. Is not for yours, or it's to procreate, or only when you married, and all of these different things, right? And so I grew up, because I wasn't in a religious household, I grew up scared as fuck. I grew up scared of it, and even talking about it, right? Because my mom didn't even tell us what the body parts were. She would just say pokes in the wee wee. What the fuck is that? I was 20 years old talking about a damn wee wee. What is that, right? And so I always felt guilty of my body, guilty to use my body, guilty to have pleasure in a way, right? And so just to think about, like, even just, parts that I was born with, feeling guilty to use them or not, right? And so you're talking about bottoming, like feeling guilty of doing that. Why am I doing that? But I'm a trans mass person, right? It's like all of these different things that are intertwined into my ability to gain pleasure during sex, right? And so that's why I asked you, like, how are you able to just transition yourself from this is who I am and this is what I enjoy, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say, fuck that stigma, right? And just, I'm going to enjoy myself because your body is yours to enjoy, and it's yours to allow someone else to enjoy it as well, and vice versa, right? And so it's like how you move past that. And so I want to ask you, like, what is your advice for someone who may be imprisoned in their own body, not wanting to explore, not wanting to do the things that may bring them joy or pleasure within their bodies?
I would just say, we have to live in this body every day, and the world is already so hard, and like so many things, like, outside of ourselves that that are difficult to deal with, and like, so I would say, like, the things that you can control, make those the most enjoyable, explore those things so that you can at least, that, like, again, like the things that you can control, the things that you allow yourself to experience, make them the best possible, and find and allow yourself to find those things that, really turn you on or get you off,
What if it's somebody it's hard to even figure that out, where you don't know?
That's real.
And so how did you figure that out? Like, was it, I'm going to try this and this and that, or, because in reality, right, you don't know what you like unless you try it, right? And I
Right.
knew the stigma behind it, and I was always like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, but I ain't never done it, so how the fuck do I know if I like it or not, right? But how do you get past that point of like, I know exactly what it is that I like, and you were very adamant what you said, right, of who you are and what you like to do, and feel confident in that. And so how do you get to that point?
I'm just very anti, like I've just really tried to like let go of what the world thinks you should do and what society says for us, and just really like let that freedom expand my mind, expand like the experiences that I'm open to even having. And if I don't like, I'm not into something, I'm like, at least I tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Joel Simu, production assistant for Dem Bois Podcast. Our community keeps growing, and we'd love for you to be an even bigger part of it. Have a story that needs to be heard? A powerful moment you'd like to share? Well, we've expanded our newsletter to include more voices from our community, and yours could be next. We're looking for those meaningful snapshots of life, your personal stories and reflections that capture who we are. Think 100 to 200 words that pack a punch. Ready to share your story? Send your writing to me at joel@dembois.org. That's JOEL@dembois.org.
I know that I say this all the time. I stalk people on Instagram. I do. I will go probably all the way down to the very first post that you ever posted, right? And so so sometimes I'm looking, right, and I'm like, damn, Gabe, you got all the fucking confidence, because there is no way I just couldn't, right? And so more power to you, more props to you for being sex positive, for being body positive, for knowing you cute, for knowing all of these things, right? Because that fits into who we are as people and how we project onto the world, right? And that confidence, and I appreciate it for you showing, because I say visibility equals possibility, and to let folks know that, to be visible, to let folks know what is possible, right? And you could be on Instagram with nothing on, right? And just feel confident in that and be like, yo, this is me, take it or leave it, or get the fuck on. How do you combat negative comments or folks that may say, as a trans person, you shouldn't be doing that, or you shouldn't? How do you combat those thoughts and conversations?
It's pretty unfortunate that the only time I feel like, or the only time I'm getting like negative shit, or people that don't like me because I am so myself, especially as a trans mask person, it's other trans mask people.
I just knew you was gonna say that.
Huh?
I just knew you were about to say that.
Yeah.
I was holding my breath and said, please don't let it be. Yeah.
It's always other trans mask people, and for me, it's like, that sucks, and I hate it, because I'm the type of person, I want to be cool with everybody. Like, I know not everybody's not going to be friends, and that's fine, but like, I'm not fucking hating on nobody, like, for like just being themselves, you know what I mean? Or I'll never hate on somebody for being free or being, confident. So when I do get that from the other boys, I just hope that they can at some point be as free as I am, because I know that like the things, because it's usually those things that that some people don't like me for, and I know that it's more of a insecurity within themselves, because I think I was that person too before I reached a level of freedom, and yeah, I don't really I don't really, like I don't address it. I don't like really pay it any mind. It's more just like, I hope you can do what you got to do to not give a fuck about me anymore.
And we all human, right? And so it's not to say that the shit that people say don't hurt, right? And,
Yeah.
And I knew you was just gonna say trans mas folks. I just knew it because I see that a lot of trans mas folks policing and gatekeeping masculinity, doing the exact same shit that cis het people are doing with masculinity. You are doing the exact same thing, right? And it's like, you didn't come all of this way to be who you are, then to tell me who the fuck I'm supposed to be, right? And it's like, it's those same folks that say you can't do what you're doing. Or the same folks that say trans mas folks shouldn't have babies, or that trans mas folks can't be gay, or trans mas. It's like all this whole long list of things that folks are gatekeeping masculinity as trans mas folks. And it makes no sense. Listen, I want you to be free to do and be whoever the fuck you want to be. I'm not here to tell you what the fuck to do. What I eat is not going to make you shit, and vice versa. I couldn't do it because that's just my own. I'm shy. I just can't. My ass can't be out because I'm shy. That's just it, right? But but that's not to say because I'm shy and I can't do it that you shouldn't have the ability to do what it is that you need to do for you. Period. Right. That's just it, right? I'm here to support you. I'm here to love on you in the best way that I can, and to let you do you and be you. And I advise. I'm telling other people to do the same shit. And my mom always told me, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say shit at all. Keep scrolling. If it don't apply, let it fly, right? I'm not going to go on your comment. I'm not going to go on your post and hate. I'm not going to go and say anything. If you don't like it, go find something else. Find something safe to do. There's so many other things on Instagram or on social media that you can, go down a rabbit hole with. You know what I mean? If you don't like some shit, keep it moving. I'm sorry.
No, you're speaking passionately.
Yeah, I think people should just mind their own fucking business. Like, that's just it. Like, right? Mind your own business. If this ain't you, but this is me, right? And so,
yeah. And honestly, like, at the end of the day, like, even if I dress feminine, whatever, nobody's clocking my masculinity at all. And also, the guys that have talked shit, they're not telling it to me, but I know everybody and I hear it through the grapevine. But they're not going to tell me, you know what I mean? Because, bitch, I'm fucking masculine too. You know what I mean?
I felt that. I felt that.
And if I have you see me out on the go-go box with a thong on, yeah, I'll fuck you up in a thong. Don't play with me.
You like, boy, I beat your ass. That's just it. I'll still beat your ass and then go back to my box.
Right. I'll go beat your ass and then I'll go shake some ass.
There you go. Man, if people could just be free, like, the world would be so much better if people could just be free. Be free and do you, right? And that's your own internalized shit that you're going through that you're not allowed to do and feel how you want to feel. So you want to take that shit out on somebody else. That's just it. Yeah. And so you are also a community organizer and leader. You want to speak more about that?
Yeah. So, I do a few different things. I work in nightlife. So, I do event producing. I have a weekly karaoke night right now, and then I'm part of a collective called Hormones. It's me and two other trans guys. We throw, dance parties or whatever. Working more on getting into doing like daytime stuff that isn't revolving around going out and drinking and stuff. But that's like the more recent things. I also when I came to LA, well, I lived here for like 2 years. And I had my first encounter with homelessness. So I was going to the LGBT center a lot. And I started helping with like doing events there for trans people. I did like some cooking stuff, and it was also helping people get fed. And then I became like a youth ambassador. And I was always just trying to like just do stuff and like coordinate things. Um, and then a few years later, during COVID, my partner and I at the time started something called Masks and Meals, where we masked and fed over 2,000 people between 2020 and 2021 in Skid Row. And now, for the last 3 years, well, this is going to be the third year this month. My friend Coke and I, we do a holiday, like community care distribution for people in Skid Row as well. We make a hot meal. I cook the meal, and we get clothes and toiletries, coats, kids' toys and stuff, and we take it down there. Yeah.
So for folks that's listening that don't know, can you explain to folks what Skid Row is?
Skid Row is an area in downtown LA that is like we're not all of them, but where a lot of houseless people reside. Whether it's like in really, really low income housing or on the street. And there's a lot of like little community centers there that give out food and stuff as well. So like, we set up on the street and people know just to come and get whatever we're giving out.
Do you know the history of it being called Skid Row?
I don't. I mean, I feel like I've heard it before, but I don't think I would be able to like tell it.
Okay, because the only reason why I'm asking, because my mother, well, I told you I have family in LA, but my mother went to school there, went to college there in the 80s. Okay. And so before I was born, and well, shit, late 70s. And it was called, she would say it was called Skid Row then too. And the same thing where unhoused folks would live. And so this is something that has been ongoing for decades on Skid Row.
Yeah. Skid Row has been there a long time. I know that there's a reason why. And I'm assuming that like people were pushed to that area. But I don't know like exact timelines and exactly why.
Yeah, I'm very interested to know. Now I'm going to look it up. So I'm going to
look it up too.
Yeah, and if I figure it out and find a resource where we can find the truth to that, I'm going to kind of plug it into the show notes. And because also many years ago, LA also had farms. And so only reason why I know that because I have one of my friends that great grandparent sold their farm there in downtown and got money back then, but obviously he was also white, and so there's a different story behind that. So I'm wondering like if folks of color were just pushed into that area and this area was unfunded and all of these things, and it just turned into what it is now. Which is so sad because it definitely showcases where folks are just. I'm grateful for the work that you're doing with the community, but it just shows that people are just thrown to the wayside in a way, right? And in California, it's so damn expensive and prices are high, food is high, everything is fucking high. And so people tend to end up in places where it's just not it's not somewhere where anybody should be. I should just say that. And so when I first came to LA, I was really like shocked, and I'm a Cancer. I feel really deeply. And it just like broke my heart, seeing so many people that have nothing and that are like thrown to the side and just like forgotten about. And that's like, the biggest reason that I do this work. And I wish that I could do it more. But
Like I'm just like being from where I'm from. Like I'd never seen houselessness to that capacity. You know, I barely seen houseless people. So I was just like, I can't normalize this. I'm never going to normalize this. And I go through my own shit too, but at the end of the day, if I'm able to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, like, when you see these people, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's grandchild, right? Somebody's aunt, somebody's uncle. These are people that we think of as not having anybody. And it could be a multitude of reasons why someone ended up in that predicament. I also used to be unhoused when I was 18 for 2.5 years. And that was because my mother kicked me out. Right. And so somebody seeing me on the street wouldn't know my story. They just, they think that people choose to be there. They're like, go get a job or go. It's not that fucking easy. Right. When you fall down on luck or whatever the case. And that's what community is about bringing people in when you have resources to share, and just that smile and just showing somebody that they are a person and somebody care about them, giving them a meal, giving them a jacket, like giving them socks. That's also important, right? It's just meaningful. Like, I see you and I know that you're here. I can't help your immediate circumstances now, but here's a meal. Here's something to drink. Stay hydrated, right? And I just wish that this wasn't such a problem in across our country in major cities. Everybody deserves to be housed. Everybody deserves to have health care. Everybody deserves to have food and water and clean food. Clean water and food, right? And so I want to ask you, like, how many, when you're in that area doing the community work, like, how many queer and trans folks do you see, or queer and trans youth?
Man, it's like, I see a lot of the girls out there. And like, there's a lot of queer and trans people. I think, like, one of the biggest things that I've seen since being out there since 2020 to now, there's a lot of just like whole families, like, and like little kids, a lot of little kids. And I think, like, after like the height of the pandemic, like, and people just get like so many evictions, it's like whole families that just had to go out there. And seeing the kids is like the hardest part. Like that, like, kids shouldn't be out there, every kid should have a fucking home. Everybody should have a home, but for me, it's the kids.
Yeah. And to start life that way, it's rough.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just thinking on my own journey with houselessness and not seeing my life now. I didn't think I was going to make it. And so I can't imagine being 6 or 7 and this is all you see, and not having that idea of, like, one day, I don't know, one day I'm going to be, you don't see possibility in that, right? You don't see, like, one day I'm going to go and I'm going to be a doctor, because all you see is everyone in the same situation as you. And that's just so heartbreaking, because every child, right? Everybody, like you said, everyone does his own home, but every child deserves a room. Every child deserves their own bed, their own toys, and to be in a clean environment, and running water, a toilet, like all of those things, to be able to take a shower. I can't tell you, and it makes me emotional just thinking about it. I cannot tell you how that affected me, of not being able to wash my ass affected me, right? And not just seeing myself as a human being, because I'm like, I'm dirty. I'm not presentable. I can't go into this place of business because somebody gonna see me this way.
Like, how you gonna go get a job without a shower? Or like,
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. So thank you so much for doing that work, and wishing that you could do it more, but like even just a little bit that you do, because that smile that you may give somebody, that something that you may give somebody is a beacon of a bright light. And, I always feel like if you can't help anybody but one person that you may touch, no telling who that person will grow up or what they may be and what they might reach back to do once they get to where they're supposed to be. Yeah, that is definitely heavy. And for folks that live in communities that don't get to see it, it's definitely not for the weak. It's definitely not something to watch if you have a heart, if you're empathetic. Definitely not something to see.
The Visibility Equals Possibility collection has new designs and a new designer, me. My name is Zion, pronouns he, him, his, and I was on episode 53 if you want to go back and check that out. But I am the second trans man of color to design for the Visibility Equals Possibility collection. Dem Bois believes visibility equals possibility, and so do I. I am honored to take part in this groundbreaking collection and look forward to seeing what else the collection has in store. My designs represent having confidence and courage to be bold with your visibility. The design, in my mind, says, take the caution you need, but I am here. I hope you all enjoy the designs, and be sure to purchase some designs from me or Emilio to support gender-affirming programs by Dem Bois. Find the amazing designs of the Visibility Equals Possibility collection and other merch items that I've designed on the Dem Bois shop at dembois.org. That's DEMBOI as in igloo s.org. And remember, visibility equals possibility.
And so, if you could do more, what would you want to do?
I mean, at like a lower level, just like being able to do these like, giving out a free meal or whatever, like at least like quarterly, or just like, a few times a year besides, just during the holidays. But like, if I could have like a fucking my own community center or something, where, we have a bunch of kind of like an LGBT center, like where you have fucking different programs and things like that. And just like all trans people fucking running it. That would be
dope. Let's put that out in the universe. Put that on the universe. For real. It's definitely needed. And it's a lot of queer and trans folks out just in their cars or on someone's couch.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's heavy. But this is the part of the show where I like to ask my guests a random ass question. I got a long list of questions. It's always growing. I just added one this morning. I'm not going to ask you all of them. I just added one this morning, number 83. But I want you to pick a number between 1 and 83, and I'm going to read you that question.
29.
Number 29 says, what is one thing you consider a bad habit that you still currently do or once did? Either you stopped it or you still currently do it.
The fucking like lemon salt or lime salt.
Yeah.
Or like in Texas, pickles are a big thing. So there's also pickle salt. And I'll just be eating it. I just eat it.
Ooh. Just raw out of the container?
Yeah. I mean, like I'll put it on my hand and like lick it off, or just like pour it in my mouth. Yeah. And,
I don't like to say things are bad habits. I don't like to say things are bad habits because that's subjective. But
no, that's a bad habit.
Shit, I couldn't do that. I hate putting salt when I'm about to take a shot. Now
you don't like that?
No, now I'm like, fuck the salt. I just take the shot. I can't. Yeah, nah.
I take salts with me everywhere, and yeah, but I need to stop. I'm getting older. My body's changing. I'm fucking slowing down. I don't want to get gout or something.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do wake up like I'll wake up like swollen.
Really?
It's too much fucking salt.
Yeah, you gotta drink more water. You gotta stay hydrated.
No, I do. I gotta drink more water.
Yeah, so keep the salt, but drink more water. Let's just add that, kind of even out the bad habit a little bit.
My girlfriend and my friends are always fucking getting mad at me about the salt.
Oh man, that's
like, I'm not gonna
crazy.
take care of you.
Right, when you, yeah. Well, that's okay. That's all right. One of my bad habits that I actually quit, and I didn't think I was gonna quit, was sucking my thumb.
Oh wow! So how old?
When I stopped?
Yeah.
Okay, first I'm gonna tell you why I stopped. I stopped because I got my teeth fixed.
Okay.
And I was like,
Okay.
so I was, 35?
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Yeah, I was a grown ass motherfucker sitting on the couch sucking my thumb till I was 35.
Whoa! I mean, like, that's a comfort thing.
Don't fix it. You just say.
No, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's probably you did it since you were a baby or something. You know?
I did. Yeah, I just literally thought I was never gonna stop, and then I got my teeth fixed, so now my thumb don't feel the same in my mouth. First, that's the first thing. It don't, because my teeth had shape to my thumb, right? So it was a comfortable fit.
Yeah.
So now it's not comfortable, and now I'm like, fuck that. I pay hella money to get my teeth fixed. I ain't fucking them up again. So I fuck that thumb.
Right.
So yeah, salt and thumb sucking. Yo, hey, keep your salt.
No, it's not healthy. I gotta stop. Don't encourage me.
Okay, well, if you want to stop, then stop. But if you don't stop, get some water in your system. Get some water.
I need to drink more water regardless. I don't be drinking fucking water enough, man.
Yeah, drink water for sure. So, Gabe, is there any last words you like to leave with folks that are listening?
No, I mean, I hope that, like, kind of what we were talking about, like, me being like visible and like myself, and like I hope that my the story I told here today can, like, encourage people or give people that confidence to be themselves and show up as themselves authentically, and because it's much less of a burden. It's much less of a burden when you can just fucking be you.
Yes.
And of course, to the people who can't, maybe if people are fucking still closeted, or they can't because of where they live, or like, whatever circumstance, I hope that it gets better. And it does get better.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good piece.
Dem Bois,